Thank you for staying with us. Now, statistics show that there has been over 2,000 deaths just in the first quarter of this year, with a continuous rise in armed robbery, kidnapping, killing of innocent lives, communal clashes. Many Nigerians are not able to sleep with their eyes closed. While security agencies may have proven resourceful, insecurity remains an unending cycle, making many flee their homes. For the new administration led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he highlighted security as one of his focus to bring peace and stability to the country. Well, joining us in our Abuja studio is Comptroller of Immigration Services, Rivers State Command, Sunday James. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning.
Right. A report this morning from the papers, if I may begin from there, says that the outgoing Minister of Defense, Major General Bashi Magashi, retired, said that the armed forces achieved 80% success in destroying Boko Haram, ISWAP insurgency, banditry, and other criminality. If you have to assess how this current administration has addressed matters of insecurity, do you agree that 80% of the issues that we face have been addressed?
As a matter of fact, coming from the Minister of Defense and the Major General, it is undisputable the fact that he knows what he's saying, because he is somebody that has practically been on the military assignment for quite some time before retirement. He came on board as a minister and with vast experience. So professionally, I would say he is on board and he should know exactly what is the level of achievement of the forces as at now. Prior to the time he took over, he came on board now, and then the way forward, which I quite believe is also going to be part of the document that is given to the President-elect. So for record purpose, as a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I don't think there's going to be any disagreement with the statistic is really out to the public.
But as a stakeholder in the naughty, rigorous security, subsector where you operate from, what's your observation about the level of insecurity? Of course, you were a former PRO of the immigration, so at the national level before you're now that you're heading a command. But tell us your observation about the level of insecurity about 4 years ago and now.
Not sounding like a professional, but sounding as an operative, I think I'll have every reason to tell you that security is not being analyzed only from the fiscal, but it can be analyzed from even the practical point of view. And security is not just a one-scope assignment, it's holistic. There's financial security, there's food security, there's medical and health security, and diverse security. All these have to be put together for it to be a holistic one. Let's start with the food security. If there is no food for the citizens, definitely there will be insecurity with respect to food. And that's more reason why agriculture is the hallmark of every administration when it comes to issue of seeing people being happy. Then food must be on their table. Apart from that, medical and health security is very, very vital. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. As at the time we had COVID-19 pandemic, it was not that easy for anyone, even to move about. But you can see, immediately it was combated or curbed. Everything came back to normal and stability came to the system. Financial security. Everybody knows the experience we had during the cash crunch. Thank God today, everybody can have enough money in hand to use. If there's no money, definitely people will look for a way to solve their problem in their own way. So that's in the area of financial security. And we have other modes of security. And what makes insecurity a threat is because of the anxiety and the fear it creates in the mind of its victim. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, security is all-encompassing. Even immigration is a security on its own. The immigration security has to do with border management and control. If the border is not well controlled and there's influx, there will be insecurity. No matter what the kind of machinery you put in place, if there are no professionals at the border to control the border, these individuals will come in through the vast land that we're having, and then we cannot control them by the use of gun or any machinery, because we don't control human beings who have not committed any crime by the use of gun or machinery. But you use diplomacy, use administration, and you use policies that are put in place to control migrants. And that is why in the migration balance, we say we have two kinds of migration: irregular migration and regular migration. The irregular migrants are individuals that move without being documented and not through approved routes. And these are individuals that are clandestine in nature and are likely to be a threat to a nation. But the regular migrants are those that are documented, that travels with valid travel document, a valid visa, and through approved routes. So when you take care of this area, and then we also have internal security that's being manned by officials, or operatives, or Department of State, the police, and other security forces in the area of intelligence gathering, monitoring, and even sending of alerts, just like we have. Once a security alert is sent out to the public, is to enlighten or to make us brace up to our task as citizens. It is now left for citizens also to, as a matter of fact, do their own part of the duty of reporting. If government officials are relaying out information that there's likely to be this or that, then it is also the duty of the citizens to be on alert and to watch and to report whatsoever it is that is not natural or normal around their environment. Because security is everybody's business. When we say government is everybody, all-encompassing. We are part parcel of the government, so nobody should exclude himself from government. Government is an inclusive system that involves both the citizens and those in government.
But there are those saddled with responsibility to carry out some of these jobs that you mentioned. All citizens cannot be at the borders because security is the responsibility of everyone. There are those saddled with the responsibility of securing our borders, yet we have this influx of undocumented persons still coming into the country. And then we also see the matter of small arms and light weapons also coming into the country. How is it that we are unable to manage all of this? Because these are some of the issues set to be compounding the insecurity challenges we are facing in the country.
Even the advanced climb have insecurity. Every day you watch the CNN and BBC, you see one shooting or the other, but the way it's being reported is what makes the difference. You hardly see on CNN or BBC it being reported that social attack has been carried out by social terrorists, without analyzing the fact that it is not every attack that is terrorist related. We must be able to come to terms with real-time reportage, verifiable reportage, and then we must also ensure that whatever it is that we want to reel out to the public must be something that is well confirmed. Back to your question. The border of Nigeria is vast, agreed, but I think the government is doing its best to ensure that there is adequate border management system. Taking cue from the Nigerian Immigration Service, you must be aware of the technology building. The technology building was built during the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, under the watch of the former Controller General of Immigration Service, Muhammadu Babadede MFR, OFR. And the purpose for that system is to ensure that there's a command and control system within the building and all the facilities for monitoring our activities at the border. Most media operatives or journalists that have visited the Nigerian Immigration Service headquarters knows that there is a technology within that building that actually is being deployed to monitor the 36 states and FCT where we have the Immigration Service, both on land, air, and sea. When I say land, air, and sea, I mean the land borders are being monitored directly from the system within the complex. And then the airports are also connected directly, as well as the marine border post. So it will be a fact that is arguable that the system or the border is porous. I can only agree with the fact that they are unmanned space because of the extent, large mass of the land. But that to say the border is porous is like saying the operatives are sleeping, which is not true. Everybody's hand is on deck. We have the border patrol units that are always at the flank of the border. We have officers at the control post that man the approved border post. We have officers at the airport that man the airport operation. We have the marine officers that collaborate with the Nigerian Navy and the police marine to carry out operation along the water coast. So the fact that we have issues within the country, which is not new to any other nation, because every nation has a peculiar issue. But the good news is that me and you are able to come to the studio or to move about because there's still security. If there's breakdown of law and order and insecurity, all of us will be within our home, in our closet. So we should still appreciate the fact that the operatives are still doing their best, even though more needs to be done. And I quite believe the incoming administration will look into the issue of upgrading the systems that are on the ground, because I believe the document given to the president-elect is a manual which must be interpreted. It's just like you buying a car. When a manual is given to you, somebody needs to read it to understand the context and content. So the same thing applies to governance. So I quite believe the president-elect, who has been an experienced technocrat and politician, and who has been in governance for quite some time, will take his time to go through with his expert and be able to analyze what is needed for each and every security outfit. And when that is done, I quite believe we are going to see change in its real form from now onward.
All right. So the president-elect has, in his Renewed Hope campaign, spoken about his desire and promising to invest more technology into the entire security landscape. And you've spoken about, some of the gains or some of the work that you people in the immigration have been doing, at least within your jurisdiction. But, tell us, with the advent of the technology that you've pointed out in, manning these borders that, have long been known to be porous, what insights can you share with us that you would want to address, moving forward?
Apart from being the former head of media and publicity of the Nigerian Immigration Service, I was once the pioneer desk officer for Nigerian immigration interfacing with Interpol for 2 years, 2012 to 2014. And what we do mostly is diffusion. We try to analyze information that comes from the Interpol, NCB, and try to give certain details to the Nigerian police, NCB here. So the issue of security is all-encompassing. It's only collaboration that is key. There is no agency of government in this country that is not relevant. Nigerian Immigration Service is not just about passport. It's not just about visa issuance to non-Nigerians. It's not just about going to the border. We do a lot of analysis in the area of intelligence and security, which I point out to you. I was once the pioneer desk officer for Interpol in immigration. And I can tell you authoritatively that within this period of time that we work together with the likes of the former IG when he was at Lyon, France, the IG Adamu, and DIG Yemi Jemilusi, when he was at the head of the NCB here at the Force Headquarters in Abuja, it was a very, very rewarding collaboration. When they sent any document to Nigerian Immigration Service for analysis, for background check, which was my assignment then, we do it thoroughly and we get results sent back to them real time. There was no reason for any wastage of time, particularly when it comes to security analysis. So what I will only say is that there must be collaboration for success in security administration. No agency of government should take advantage of the other or maybe look at the other as being inferior, because each and every one has its own duty and assignment to do. But when we collaborate, nobody will see our weakness. The enemy of the state will not see the weakness of any agency because collaboration is intact. But when there's no collaboration, then the enemy of the state will take advantage of it. Back to technology. Technology is the engine and is the solution to every problem in the world. Even the advanced claim, they use technology to fight every form of crime. Like the CCTV camera, you cannot underestimate the value attached to CCTV camera, particularly in the area of it being an instrument that can capture information for somebody to be able to read it at an appropriate time. Even in your house, as an example, if you have a CCTV camera and you have electricity 24/7, you are very, very sure of capturing every information that comes around your corridor or around your fence. The same thing applies to any nation. The deployment of technology will be very, very effective only if electricity is intact. And I'm happy that we are gearing up to a level where we're going to have stability in our electricity with the upcoming of the Dangote refinery and other issues that are coming up, particularly in the deployment of electricity, the type that we saw that Tony Elmelu was able to procure in Delta. These are upcoming industrial developments that will bring a lot of change into the country, because technology does not work in vacuum. Technology works with system. If there is no electricity, technology cannot work. If there are no operatives that are trained, technology cannot work. A person that is talking to you today is because of the training I received under the Nigerian Immigration Service and through the tutelage of the Interpol that granted me the opportunity to be able to know the information I'm relaying out to you today. Apart from the fact that I was head of media and publicity, I can still tell you vividly that security is very, very paramount to every operative. You must know a level of security to understand even what we are doing as a media practitioner. But apart from that, we must, of necessity, continue to support the government of the day. Experts should stop brain draining. We must sit at home to be able to put our head together to do exactly what's expected. Because running out of the country does not change the scenario of who you are. Like an adage that says, a lizard in Nigeria cannot become an alligator outside the country. You cannot become a first-class citizen outside your country. So it's better for us to stay home, do the right thing here. With enabling environment, we'll be able to overcome every other obstacle that's ahead of us. But this administration needs a lot of experts to come on board, to put hands together, and to work together with the administration so that all of us will have a very progressive and developed nation.
Right. Another aspect that Nigerians are speaking about with regards to this matter of insecurity is the welfare of security personnel. How would you want that addressed? As well as there's also the matter of state policing to addressing some of the peculiarities with regards to the insecurity the country is facing. Because when you look at the situation, it differs from region to region.
We already have enough security operatives, so state policing is like duplication. We already have the Nigerian Immigration Service, we have the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, we have the Nigerian Police Force, we have the military. So, bringing on board any other system is like having a clash. You have the Federal Road Safety, you have the VIO, and you have the traffic warding system in the police. All these are systems that are working toward the same goal. So as far as I'm concerned, it is good for us to have a very strong and well-established system than to have duplicates. So as far as I'm concerned, I cannot, on my own, suggest for a state policing. I would rather say the traditional ruler should be empowered. In those days, there's no how you enter into a community and will not be known to the ward head or the traditional head within that society. And once individual reports to the traditional head or to the ward head, they come over to the house where the person is staying to find out who the person is, where the person is coming from. This system must be revamped. It must be revisited. Our system, our traditional system, is as effective as any other system, and until it's visited, we will continue to have the lapses because the confidence that is reposed on the traditional system is more than the confidence you will repose on the state policy. The system we are having presently needs more confidence to be established in, for people to establish more confidence in them, not just duplicating or reproducing others. So as far as I'm concerned, we have enough security forces on the ground. It's just for this system to be upgraded and empowered.
Now, you mentioned the traditional system, and they have actually set an agenda for the incoming administration. They are saying that the incoming administration must recognize them and the role they play in the society, and they are demanding 50% of the security votes that the governors receive. And I'm wondering what you make with regards to these demands that these persons have made.
Can you? The traditional system, I can hear you clearly.
All right. Go ahead.
The traditional system must work alongside with the state government and the local government in order to be able to come on board. The traditional system only relates with federal government at the federal level when invited, but their main domain is at the state and local government level. And that is where we have the majority of all the issues we're having. So if the governors of state will collaborate with their traditional leaders, I think the Nigerians will be better for it. There's no reason why there should be any rancor or any disorder between, any disobedience between the leadership of the state and then the traditional leaders, because they are fathers of the day. They are the fathers of the people. So each and every one is supposed to be submissive to them. First and foremost, even if as a chief executive of a state, the traditional fathers are the fathers of the land. So we should give them their place, we should respect them. That's the only way they can also give to us what we want. So as far as I'm concerned, every person must be able to respect them.
Security votes.
I think that's a big request, because 50% of the security vote, if given to the traditional council, I think it is out of order. As far as I'm concerned, it is the professional body that are supposed to be actual sponsored and not just a system. Okay, if 50% of the vote is given to traditional rulers, what do they want to deploy it for? To buy machineries, armor tanks, guns, or what? So the money was directed to the right place, please.
And what is the right place? Because already, and of course for a long time, the question of security votes being in the possession of governors has also raised dust. So where do you stand in the argument, especially with what you've said as to security votes or monies to secure lives and properties should be in the right hands?
The governors are the chief security officer of the state. The only thing that matters is let there be accountability and probity. As simple as that. Every money that is expended on security must be accounted for.
Right. Right. I also want to, get your take. Of course, it's good you're here, so you can also, bring, some perspectives, especially on this issue of trafficking in persons, smuggling of persons. I want to believe this is an area that you're well at home with. But, sadly, this is a booming business now in spite of all the efforts to curb it. What can you tell us about, the reasons fueling, this illicit business?
At the beginning of this interview, I mentioned to you that we must give kudos to the leadership of the Nigerian Service for setting up the Directorate of Migration, which is one of the 8 directorates in the service. And under this directorate, we have 2 divisions. We have the Irregular Migration Division, and the Regular Migration Division. The Regular Migration Division takes care of trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. These are two different issues. Trafficking in persons has to do with the movement of individuals with the intention of exploitation outside the country, and this is done for financial gain. While smuggling of migrants has to do with moving an individual from where is domicile or residence to a place where is not a resident, and the essence of it is beyond exploitation is to make the individual generate money for the people that transport such a person outside the country. So the trafficking in person, the ill of trafficking in person is that there is sexual exploitation, and there is financial gain, and there is inhuman treatment of the victim. But in the area of smuggling of migrant, the individual is only be taken from where is a resident to a place where he is not. That means from the country of origin to another country, and such a person is dumped there. So the individual that that smuggles is the beneficiary of that transaction. But on the heels of trafficking in persons, most people always think it's very, very easy to prosecute cases of trafficking in persons within the country. In fact, the most difficult thing to prosecute is trafficking in persons, because you cannot establish the fact that a person is trafficked unless you have all the indices and all the intelligence with respect to that. And that takes a very, very long time, because the person that is to be trafficked will have come to the point of departure. That is not the point of analysis. That's not the point where you start saying this and this and this are the things I'm looking for. So only few questions are being asked by professionals that gives such people out to the law enforcement agents. One, when the individuals in questions are a mass, there is tendency for suspicion of movement. When the identity of the individuals differs, when there are other attitudes displayed by the people that are being moved, and the person that's actually trafficking them is also displaying a kind of character, it is easy to analyze that these individuals are going through trafficking. But when it comes to smuggling of migrants, these are things that happen between two people that agreed. I am going to take you to so place, and they move them to so place. When they move them outside the country, it is at that point that the person that is smuggling the migrant will actually leave the person to his fate. But in the area of trafficking in person, they tell them so many funny things, that I'm going to get you a juicy job outside the country, I'm going to give you this and that, and they promise their parents. So with this element of deceit being meted on the family, that your daughter will be coming with so dollars, they will send so amount of money to you, it gives out these children out to these individuals that traffic out of the country. So trafficking in person deals or dwells on deceit. And most of the people that are being deceived is either through ignorance or greed. But when it comes to the issue of smuggling of migrants, it is a conception that dwells on agreement between two people. But the other party that is being smuggled may not know the ulterior motive behind is being smuggled out of the country. So all being put together, the essence of immigration control at the border is way to control all these two individuals, both those the regular and the irregular migrants. And Nigerian Immigration Service is at the top of its job, doing the best at the airport, at the seaport and land border. And that's why most times when you see cases of individuals being returned, you can see in the pages of newspaper and on television houses when a number of people will be said, these are the people that we apprehended at the border and we're returning them back. But most times it's called that the person that's trafficking or smuggling will have escaped. So it's only in rare cases that those people appear, because they have a plan. They hardly follow these people up and down. It's only in rare cases that I see them being caught directly with these people.
All right. We have to leave the conversation here now. I really would have loved for you to talk more on the matter of accountability, how we can ensure that, especially with regards to matters of insecurity, but we do not have as much time. So we must thank you, Comptroller of Immigration Services, River State Command, Sunday James, for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.